You ready to back me up, Lauren? Don't move. Dropped him. He's right there. Stuck him right in the side.
For a long time, it has been unclear whether it was legal to hunt with an air rifle in Florida if you are a convicted felon and have not filed for and received clemency for your convictions. That changed a couple years ago when the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission made it clear in the Hunting Regulations Handbook that birds and large and small game animals can be hunted with high-caliber air rifles. In this year's Hunting Regulations Handbook, it states the following regulations on legal methods for taking game in Florida. For resident game birds and game mammals rifles, shotguns, pistols, air guns, longbows, compound bows, recurve bows, crossbows and birds of prey, falcons, hawks and great horned fowls may be used. Handheld releases may be used. Arrows or bolts used to take deer or wild turkeys must be equipped with broadheads having at least 2 sharpened edges with minimum widths of 7/8 inch. Only pre-charged pneumatic PCP air guns firing arrows or single bullets can be used in taking deer and turkey. Must be at least 30 caliber for deer and 20 caliber for turkey. PCP air guns are commercially manufactured air guns that are charged from an external high compression source, such as an air compressor, air tank, or external hand pump, and are specifically designed to propel a bolt, arrow, or other projectile commonly used for hunting.
Good hits. Good hits. He's going down. He's going down.
Thanks.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
so much.
You're welcome. You made 2 really good shots with that air rifle and took him down.
DAQ.
I am not a lawyer and am not giving legal advice, and I implore you to talk to an attorney yourself before obtaining a PCP air rifle to find out if owning or possessing one is lawful for you. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has also put this page up, which explains hunting regulations for convicted felons in Florida. Home, hunting in Florida, hunting regulations, hunting with a felony conviction, hunting with a felony conviction. In regard to use of firearms by felons, it is illegal in Florida for convicted felons to possess firearms, including muzzle-loading guns, unless they have had their civil rights restored or the gun qualifies as an antique firearm under Florida Statute 790.001. 1. Properly licensed convicted felons may hunt with bows, crossbows, and air guns during hunting seasons when such devices are legal. A general restoration of civil rights does not include the restoration of the right to own, possess, or use a firearm. In order to restore firearm authority, an application is required, and there's a waiting period of 8 years from the date sentence expired or supervision terminated. For more information on the clemency process and eligibility requirements, go to the Florida Parole Commission website. Section 790.001 1. Florida statutes states antique firearm means any firearm manufactured in or before 1918, including any matchlock, flintlock, percussion cap, or similar early type of ignition system or replica thereof, whether actually manufactured before or after the year 1918, and also any firearm using fixed ammunition manufactured in or before 1918, for which ammunition is no longer manufactured in the United States and is not readily available in the ordinary channels of commercial trade. Convicted felons should be cautious about being in a location where a firearm is present, as they may be in constructive possession of that firearm. Constructive possession occurs when the person knows about the firearm and is in a position to exert dominion and control over that firearm. A felon who is riding in a truck with other hunters who have firearms with them may be in constructive possession of those firearms, depending on the circumstances. Convicted felons, as well as any hunter, may use a bow, crossbow, or air guns during hunting seasons where allowed. Hunters who are on probation should consult with their probation officer before hunting. High-caliber pre-charged pneumatic air rifles are not a new thing. Here's a little bit of history about the first one invented. The Girardoni air rifle is a remarkable piece of history that has played a significant role in shaping the world of firearms. Its story begins in the late 18th century, in the midst of the American Revolutionary War. The Girardoni high-caliber pre-charged pneumatic PCP air rifle was invented by Bartholomew Girardoni, an Austrian inventor and gunsmith. He was commissioned by the Austrian army to create a weapon that would give them a tactical advantage over their enemies. At the time, firearms were slow to reload and often unreliable, making them a liability on the battlefield. Girardoni's solution was a rifle that used compressed air as its propellant instead of gunpowder. This allowed for a much quicker reload time and a more consistent and accurate shot. The rifle was also quieter than traditional firearms, making it ideal for stealth operations. In 1780, the Austrian army officially adopted the Girardoni air rifle as their standard issue weapon. The rifle was made of polished brass and had a unique look with a long barrel and a large air reservoir. It was also equipped with a detachable magazine that could hold up to 20 to 22 rounds. Although air rifles had been in existence before Bartholomew Girardoni invented his rifle, previous models were all single-shot rifles, whereas this was the first example of a repeating high-caliber, pre-charged pneumatic PCP air rifle. The rifle was about 4 feet long, weighed about 10 pounds, and fired a .46 caliber ball at velocities of around 700 to 900 feet per second, which is about the same velocity as a .45A CP bullet coming out of a modern Colt 1911 pistol. It looks similar to other flintlock muzzle loaders of that era, but there are some interesting differences. For instance, there is a tubular magazine on the side, where the user can load about 20 spherical bullets. In fact, this was one of the first firearms in history to feature a tubular magazine. A leather gasket is placed between the rifle and the air reservoir to maintain a tight seal. In the field, the leather gasket often needed to be wetted to make sure that the seal stayed airtight. When this rifle was adopted by the Austrian army, each soldier was equipped with 3 air reservoirs, one attached to the rifle and 2 spares carried in a leather bag, 100 lead bullets in tubes, spare leather gaskets, and an air pump to refill the reservoirs. In addition, each soldier also had a cleaning kit and a bullet mold to cast extra bullets. The air reservoir was pressurized to about 800 pounds per square inch. To achieve this kind of pressure, the user would have to pump it with approximately 1,500 strokes using the hand pump. Since this could take some time, that's why the user was supplied with 2 extra air reservoirs. A full air reservoir was good for shooting about 30 to 40 shots before the pressure would fall below a useful amount, and the user would then replace it with another reservoir. The first 10 shots would be lethal to about 150 yards. The next 10 to 15 shots would be lethal to about 100 yards, and the remaining 10 to 15 shots would be lethal to about 75 yards. To use this rifle, the soldier would point the rifle's muzzle to the sky and push the thumb slide button on the left side of the rifle to open the breech block. Due to gravity, a bullet from the tubular magazine would fall into the breech. The soldier would then cock the rifle, and the rifle was ready to fire. One of the nice things about this rifle was that the soldier could load it from behind cover, in a prone position. These rifles were later used by the Lewis and Clark expedition in their exploration of the American West. Despite its success on the battlefield, the Girardoni air rifle was not without its flaw. The most significant issue was its weight, as the air reservoir added significant bulk to the rifle. It also required a hand pump to refill the air reservoir, making it cumbersome to use in the field. Eventually, the Girardoni air rifle fell out of use as more advanced firearms were developed. However, its impact on the world of firearms cannot be denied. It paved the way for future innovations, such as the CO2 cartridge and modern air rifles. Today, the Girardoni air rifle is a highly sought-after collector's item, with only a few hundred still in existence. It is a testament to the ingenuity and skill of Bartholomew Girardoni, whose invention revolutionized the world of firearms.
But in fact, it's probably one of the most historically significant guns in the collection, because this gun, it could be said, changed the entire history of the United States of America in the 19th century, and perhaps the history of the world in the 19th and 20th century. Basically, it's just an air rifle. And in fact, it's a rather well-preserved gun. It's on loan to us from Mike Carrick of Oregon. It's called a Girardoni.